Her nights are going to be better, her naps are going to be better. It's still really hard. Here I am, completely exhausted again. It's so sweet. I'm very impressed with you. Hi there, my name is Celeste and I have a 6-month-old baby girl, Cosette, who we call Coco, and she's currently sleeping in the bed with me and her dad is sleeping downstairs on the sofa. And we are about to start sleep training with the ABCs of sleep from Taking Cara Babies to move her here into her room, into her crib right over there. A little background on this, I wasn't necessarily planning on sleep training. I wanted to keep her in bed with us as long as possible. When she was a newborn, we had her in the dock-a-tot between us in the bed, and like disclosure right here, obviously I'm not a medical professional, not giving advice. Everybody do what's best for you and your family. Okay, there we go. So when she was a newborn, we had her in the dock-a-tot, and then once she was bigger, just recently I've moved her out of the dock-a-tot to just be co-sleeping with me in the bed. At a certain point, Ryan started sleeping downstairs because all of us being smushed together in the bed was really hard on both of our backs because we didn't really have enough room. We only have a full bed. A little bit after he moved out of the bed, she hit her 4-month sleep regression. And she had been sleeping like a good 6 or 7 hour stretch and then maybe a 4-hour stretch every night since she was about 5 weeks old. But at about 3 months, when the regression started to hit, she started waking every 1 to 3 hours and needing to be nursed back to sleep. Basically, it's been 3 months since that happened. I haven't had more than 3 hours of sleep at a time since then, and I'm starting to go a little bit loco. I really wanted to find a way to ease her through the regression and essentially have her learn how to connect those sleep cycles together without having to move her out of my room. But I have now come to the conclusion that we're going to have to try sleep training because I think it's going to be the best way for her to go through the cognitive process of basically learning how to put herself back to sleep. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm also really excited about it. I'm actually really excited to have our bed back. I think sleeping with my husband again, being able to cuddle again, being able to have plenty of room and actually sleep through the night in our own bed is going to be really good for our physical and mental health and emotional health and our relationship and our intimacy. And obviously, I would only be doing this if I thought it was the best thing for my daughter as well. And I do think it's going to be the best thing for her because once she is able to sleep and go back to sleep on her own, her nights are going to be better, her naps are going to be better, which means she's going to be more well rested all the time, which is great for her cognitive development, and it's also going to make her a happier baby when she is awake. And of course, with me being more well rested, I'm going to be able to be a much better mom to her during the day. So we just woke up. You can see the dark circles under my eyes from our current setup, sleeping in the bed. I have the dock-a-tot and pillows and things on one side of it, and then I sleep on the other side just to keep her safe in the middle. And this was our last night. It was definitely bittersweet. I was feeling very sentimental at the beginning of the night with her sweet little body next to mine. But by morning, I was feeling like, yes, I have definitely made the right decision because here I am completely exhausted again. And we were up way too many times last night, so I'm excited to get started. Here we are in her room, and yesterday Ryan hung these blackout blinds. Good morning! Last night was night 1, and I would say it went better than expected. She was in her room in her crib for the full 12 hours. for bedtime, it only took 25 minutes before she fell asleep, which definitely felt like ages, like time was moving really, really slowly. And then she had 2 wake-ups in the night. One was only 10 minutes, and so it involved 1 pop-in, and the other was also 25 minutes, although I do think it felt a little bit shorter than the bedtime 25 minutes because it was like we had done it and I felt more confident that it was going to happen any moment now and wasn't like bracing myself for it to be hours. Yeah, and then she woke up at the 12-hour mark at 6:40, and she was a little fussy when I first came into her room. Basically, I heard her sort of fuss, so I knew she was awake. I went into the room and she looked like she was still asleep. She didn't see me. And then suddenly she sort of woke herself up. She was on her tummy and she sort of like popped up onto her arms and was suddenly awake, but she was facing away from me. So I said her name. And when she looked over to see me, she started to fuss for a moment because I guess she thought like I was not going to pick her up. Because I had, been doing the pop-ins, I wouldn't pick her up. But then as soon as I picked her up, she was, excited and like cuddled into me. And we came in here and nursed for the first time today. I love side-lying nursing, so I've been doing the dream feeds with night weaning slowly. So I've been doing dream feeds in the rocking chair in her room, but during the day I'm still gonna do most of her nursing in bed, I think, because it's more comfortable for me. And yeah, so those were the wake-ups, and then for the feeding I went in and fed her at 10:30 and at 3:30, both of which times she was dead asleep, and I just kind of scooped her up and latched her on, fed her for 10 minutes, and put her back down, and there wasn't any trouble with that waking her at all. So we're going to be weaning that down slowly with basically shorter feeds for the next couple days, and then only 1 dream feed, and then none at all by night 5. I'd leave my hair alone. Once we've completely got nighttime on track, then we will tackle naps with the same methodology. But for now, we're keeping naps exactly as they are. We're using the ABCs of sleep from Taking Cara Babies, and she says that you don't have to worry that the naps are going to interfere with what you're teaching your baby during the night. So she recommends getting nights on track and then naps. So yeah, in a couple hours, we will have our first nap, and I'm feeling really hopeful. I think I was up as much as I normally would be, but that's mainly because I had to do the dream feeds. Once those are over, if she'd only woken up the twice during the night, I think I would already be like more rested. And then, ideally by the time the dream feeds are over, she won't be waking up in the night. So I think in a few days, I'm going to be getting more sleep. And it's very exciting. And she's going to be getting more sleep too. Yay! Last night was night 2, and it went even better than night 1. I was a little nervous at first because it took her slightly longer to fall asleep. I think it was 25 minutes the first night and maybe like 35 the next night. It ultimately isn't that big of a difference, but I guess part of me kind of thought maybe that part would have already gotten easier, but it's still really hard. However, after she fell asleep the first time, she only had 1 wake up, and it was only 2 minutes, and that was literally the only time she woke up at night until the morning. Now, I didn't get much sleep still because I did still do my 2 dream feeds at 10:30 and 3:30. However, I reduced the time on both of them from 10 minutes to 8 minutes. And I also didn't sleep much because I'm still my brain is in this mindset of having her in my bed, and so I'm still like not really connecting my own sleep cycles. I'm very much aware when I wake up of the fact that I'm awake, and it takes me a minute to recognize, okay, everything's different. She's not here. Ryan is, is my baby safe? Oh yeah, that's right. I know where my baby is now. So my brain is still adjusting. And I guess it's, good that I'm doing the night feeds anyway, so it's fine for me to be still like a light sleeper. So I'm really, really enjoying the dream feeds. I think I'm actually gonna quite miss them when they're over, because it's so sweet to pick her up and she's just completely sleepy and limp in my arms, and it's really nice. And I think I would super miss her if I didn't get to see her in the middle of the night at all. Once I'm sleeping through the night, I'm sure it won't bother me that much that I don't see her from bedtime until morning, but with me being up so much, it's really been nice to be able to actually go in and have that intimate time with her, because after I put her down, like a few hours go by and I'm definitely already missing her. Keeping in mind that I have been on maternity leave, and then quarantine started immediately when I was going back to work. So at this point, I've still never spent more than a couple hours away from her in her whole life. So it's very strange for me to put her down in her room, and then if I put her down at 7 and I don't really see her until her first dream feed at 10:30, that's basically the longest that I've ever gone in her life without seeing her. That's a few hours is a long time for me. So baby steps. Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. This is night 3, and I just put her to bed, and she was asleep in 4 minutes. 4. She seemed pretty fussy too. I was worried it was going to be a bad one, because she was already kind of fussy, we didn't make it through the whole book. And when I lay her down, she was immediately upset. She knew exactly what was happening. And then she just put herself to sleep. I'm so proud of her. She is learning so fast. And I am sitting here at not even 7:30. I have my wine, I have my book, I have my husband in my bed, and life is good. Okay, so we're sitting out here bright and early. Somebody got a little scratch on her face. But she slept through the night last night. We went to sleep in 4 minutes. Slept all the way through. Last night was our last night of 2 dream feeds. They were only 5 minutes long each. And tonight we'll have 1, and then we will be completely night weaned. So hopefully that won't be a difficult night, and we can just keep up this incredible progress. I really did not expect it to be this easy. What about you? Are you pretty impressed with yourself? Yeah, you learned really fast. I'm really proud of you. I'm very impressed with you. Yes, I'm very impressed with you. I just put her down for a nap in her crib, and she's just fallen asleep after only 1 pop-in. So we were going to wait until sleep training was totally over to start nap training. But we've been struggling really hard with naps the last couple of days, with her only staying down for about 20 minutes, or it taking me almost an hour to get her down. We had been having pretty successful naps in the bed, nursing her down before we started sleep training, but for some reason, once she started sleeping well through the night, it was harder to get her to nap. So I decided I would just go ahead and start with the nap training, since the nights have been pretty consistent so far. Okay, it's day 14 of sleep training. Everything's still going well. This is, I think, the 3rd day I've been doing the nap training as well. And she's napping right now. I've got her here on my phone, so I can come and sit on the front porch and enjoy my boba and just live the good life. I'm so happy right now. But a couple days ago, I would have been lying next to her with a loud sound machine in my ear, being as quiet as possible, you know, putting my hand on her if she stirred a little bit to help her sleep longer for her nap. Couldn't leave the room even if I had to pee because we were on the bed and she's rolling now, so I can't leave her unsupervised. That's where I was at a couple of days ago for her naps. She is obviously happier, getting great sleep here, cuddled up with her buddy. I mean, did I mention the boba? It's like my life is transformed. My life is transformed. I recommend sleep training, and I recommend boba. So, Coco's jumping. I just wanted to talk you through her nighttime routine, which you're probably familiar with the concept of just doing the same things in the same order in order to signal that it's bedtime. So what we've been doing is we start with a bath. We are probably going to stop giving her a bath every single night, but for the first 14 nights that we were sleep training, we did do it every night just to help instill the idea of the routine. So we do a bath. Usually we fed her solids at dinner time just before, so that's good because if she gets messy, go straight into the bath. And then after the bath, we put her in pajamas and in her sleep sack. And then I will take her into her room where all of the shades have been drawn and we've got the noise machine going. And sit in the rocker, and I read her a book. This is the part that we skip if she's really fussy from being overtired and she just wants to get straight to the boob. But typically I will read her a book here, and then I will nurse her and sing, but without letting her fall asleep on the titty. And then after that, I put her down in her crib, and I always say to her, this rhyme that my mom used to say to me when I went to sleep, which is, good night, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite, wake up bright in the morning light to do what's right with all your might. So I like to say that to her when I lay her down. And then we make sure all the lights are off. If the sound machine is still lit up, I touch it to get it to go to just sound. And I usually go into the bathroom that is just off of her room to brush my teeth and everything while I listen to see if she's going to need a 5-minute pop-in. And that's our nighttime routine. Yeah? Are you a cutie? Yeah. Are you the star of the show? Yay! Oh, and for naps, we do an abbreviated version, which involves just the sleep sack and a book. And I do not nurse her for the naps because I usually nurse her a little bit before that in a different room where it's more brightly lit in order to keep her from having a little rest on the breast, which can interfere with her napping properly. So the sleep routine is just, for the naps, is just the sleep sack and the book. It doesn't have to be super long or complicated, but it does, I think, help. Especially the sleep sack, I feel like is a good signal because that's something that she only wears when she's sleeping, right? So you know that means it's sleepy time? Is that right? Oh, look at you, you're so cute. She loves to suck her thumb. Yeah, so cute. Yay. So that does it for the sleep train with me. I really hope that you were able to get something out of seeing my experience. I really feel like a couple weeks ago I was completely lost. I was exhausted. Napping was a struggle, and we've made it a long way. So I definitely recommend the ABCs of sleep or some form of sleep training that works for you and your family. Even if you feel resistant to it or it wasn't initially in your plan, these things rarely go as planned, and we can't really know what things are going to be like or what our babies are going to need until we're in that position. So for me, this has been really eye-opening. This girl's happy, she's got more energy, everybody's happier. Yeah, and if you did find something of value by watching me share my experience, I would so much appreciate it if you would hit the thumbs up button. It'll make it easier for people to find the video, and definitely subscribe if you'd like to see more from me. And let me know in the comments where you are on your sleeping journey with your little ones, and I'd love to hear from you. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye. Coco, say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Fully ignoring us.